What's up, guys? Welcome back. So pretty much, guys, as you guys seen in the last video, we ended up starting work and welding up that bracket onto my brother's EF wagon that we are now K-swapping. There's some stuff that I've been working on off camera, such as my tow pig, my truck, my daily. I finally figured out the situation of what was wrong with it. I did take the drive shaft off, which a lot of people recommended to go get it balanced. I went and I did get it balanced, and turns out it was out of balance. The main reason why was because where the U joints are at, where you take off the piece to put on the carrier bearing, I did not match it up directly the same, and honestly, it was out of balance. Aside from that, I ended up swapping out the new hub bearings from the old ones, because if you guys remember correctly, let me get out of the light so you guys can see me a little bit better. If you guys remember correctly, this was a while back. I ended up swapping over the wheel bearings from the original ones to the ones that I had swapped out. Well, they ended up going bad, so I ended up pretty much calling in just to be as a precautionary, thinking that I honestly didn't want to think that it was my transmission. So I swapped them over. I ordered the new ones. They sent me replacements, and I got new replacements, and the noise went completely away. So now the car runs and drives, with the exception of it needing a battery now, because I have not driven it in about a full month time, and the battery has just drained out. So I've tried already jumping it, I've tried letting it charge, and it will charge and it will hold charge for a couple of hours, and then overnight it just completely, battery is dead. But what I want to do in this video, guys, is pretty much get started on the engine bay of the Civic Wagon. I still need to pretty much do a little bit of body work to it, get rid of some old paint, smooth it all out, and that way we can add a new coat of paint to the passenger side frame rail and the wheel tub and everything else, so that way the mount will all blend in. My brother did get paint for the car, so I have to either spray it or I'm gonna have to go get it made, which will probably do later on. I'll probably take it to go get it made in a can, an aerosol can, and that way when we get back we can pretty much paint that whole side over there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is continue doing body work on that side, and then hopefully once that is all done, then we can go ahead and start doing the brake tuck of where we're going to put the prop valve. Hopefully it's going to be on the firewall out of the way, and we can start making new brake lines for the front and also to the back. Alrighty, guys, so quick update. As you guys seen, I got to sanding, and I got the bay on that corner pretty much dull, where we took off all the shine. We're gonna have to throw some primer over here. I'm still gonna do this little section here, but what I'm gonna start working on, or what I started working on after, was removing all of the brake lines. I did move the prop valve from it being over here, and this is where it's gonna have to go. These lines are not going to be perfect. This is the way it's going to stay temporarily until we decide to either do lines all the way to the back, or we figure out another solution, because I don't have enough material, and this car is not going to be a show car. It's just he wanted it, we have to move it out of the way, so we might as well make it useful, and this is where it's going to have to be. I don't want to cut these lines just because I don't have enough fittings, and to come in here and flare it, it's just going to be a pain in the ass. So I would rather not do that and leave it here, because either way, once the headers come in here, this is all out of the way and it will do. My brother again is not looking for a show car. He just wants functional car, so that way it will look good and honestly pretty much just perform, because again, he is going to have some fun on the streets with this car, and that is the plan for him. So I'm going to go ahead and message him right now, show him how this is going to be. If he's cool with it, then we'll leave it, and if not, then honestly we'll try to figure it out and see if we can find a different solution to bringing it down lower and putting a riv nut to the firewall, or figure something out. But for the most part, this is the way it's going to be, just like this almost. What's up, guys? So it's next day, and yeah, figured I'd come out here and get started on the brake line tuck, or the new brake lines. As you guys know, usually the proportioning valve is over here, so we moved it here to the firewall. This is not going to be a show car. We'll go ahead and adjust that later on when the time comes, and then we can easily make 2 lines here to some barb fittings that go through the wall, and then we're 100% set as far as a brake tuck, right? Or we can easily move the prop valve inside when the time comes, and then we can always redo the fittings if needed. Which doesn't really cost a lot. So I did receive the fittings here, which is what I was looking for. I need these fittings so that we can go into the brake lines here, and I can also go into the proportioning valve here. So these are the brake lines, these are the rear brake lines, and then these 2 right here are the front ones, and then these 2 on the back end are the ones that run to the master. So we're gonna go ahead and pretty much get started on it. I have to unroll this hose here, this tubing here. I'm gonna use this kit here that's from Eastwood, and pretty much that's all the tools that I use is Eastwood here. Honestly, it's a really good product, and honestly I've never really had any failures with it. So let's go ahead and get to making the new brake line. First one we're gonna start off with is the one coming from here, and that way we can run it to the top portion here. So the way I'm gonna snake it is gonna be up through the middle, back here, come around, U it, and come in here. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So what I like to use is my filler rod. You can use a hanger for it or whatever you want to use for it. I use this just because that way it's easier to use, and honestly I can always reuse it. I can easily bend it back and I can use it for my welding. So here I just made a general pretty much form of the way I wanted it to get it routed, and this right here will match where it's going to go to. As far as, let me go ahead and get that over here. So this will match this fitting here, and I can always, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and chop it still because it does fit a little bit too long, and you can see where it's at. So basically you need to chop it here, that way it has enough for the fitting to drop down to it and lock it in. So right there is where we're gonna leave it at, and then from here pretty much go into the engine bay and start seeing where it's gonna go. So as you can see, it's pretty much just a straight shot, and it's gonna go straight here. So I'll probably cut it here. Now I can start doing the bends and get the angle of it, so I know exactly how much material I need to use, and from there we can flare it. So this is pretty much the outcome of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop off very little. That's all we needed. And then this is the way it's gonna go. It's gonna go like this, and then it curves over to a 45 basically. So that's the way we're gonna go ahead and run it, and then from there I can always tweak it back, pull it back a little bit once it's flared. But I'm not gonna do the flaring. I'm gonna do the flaring first on both ends, and then I'll go ahead and start doing the bending of exactly how this is gonna go. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's there you go. It's flared and it matches the contour. So now we're gonna go ahead and do this side, and that way I can start bending everything to see which way it needs to go. Alright guys, so both ends are flared. So now what I'm gonna do is pretty much start measuring where I want it to be and where it's gonna go, and I'm gonna end up bending it here. And what I'm gonna end up using is this nitrous tube bender. I've used it before. This is what I use. People have asked me, go get this from Nitrous Express. Part number is 00-56020. It is a 3/16 flaring bender. So grab this. Alrighty guys, so here is number one. Unfortunately I had to redo it just because I didn't like the shape of it. It was looked too bland to me. So pretty much this is the way we're gonna run it. It's gonna come like this. The next one will come down, come around towards the frame, go around, come around this way, and see if we can get it to wrap around this way a little bit and come around and then go to here to this location over here, because this is where the next one's gonna be at. I'm gonna try to make it into 2 pieces. Unfortunately that's the way it's gonna have to be on this one, just because of how long it's gonna be, because I will use a lot of line just in case I do mess up. I don't want to run that risk. If not, I might just end up just coming from here to here, go straight across, try to tuck it around, go around, and honestly just try to make it a little bit more uniform, unless I try to go upwards, go around all this like this, and then go around and straight through there, which I might end up doing. I'm gonna go ahead and see how it's gonna look first. But first one is done. Alrighty guys, update. Second line is made. That one's running to the top of the brake booster. So that is set. So now we're gonna do the bottom one, which is gonna run across, come here, and come to this one. I'm still gonna see if I'm gonna go that way straight across to the back, and then go down, and then curve it and kind of just follow the contour of it. Probably that's what I'm going to end up doing, and then from there I'll probably just drop down down here and flare it down that way. That's probably going to be the best bet in all honesty, but we'll go ahead and see how it goes. It's going to be a little bit complicated when it comes down to this one right here, because this is the one that runs across. I'm trying to get enough room to where it's all pretty much tucking, and that way they kind of stay with each other around, so that we can go straight to there. So we're going to go ahead and continue guys. I'll update you guys pretty much when this section of the brake tuck is done, so that way on the next few clips you guys will see once we start getting the paint. I gotta go pick up the paint tomorrow, just an update also, and that way I can start I'll Scotch Brite this with the gray Brillo pad, and that way I can throw some paint on. But I'm gonna take off the fender, take off the headlight, tape everything off, so that way we can throw a coat of paint on it, and then from there we can clear it. Again, it's not a show car guys. I know I've said it multiple times. We're doing the best that we can with the time that we have. Alright guys, so brake lines are all set and done, and this is the best I did just for the time that I have, so that way we can at least have brakes in the car. Again, this is not a like legit or 100% like how I did it to my car. This is just to get us by. You can have brakes. We can always readjust this later on. Brake line is only like $40 give or take. So this will do for now, because I do want to kind of change it up. I'm not exactly 100% happy with it, but my brother is happy with it. He says that he is cool with it, so we're gonna leave it that way. So as you can see, all the lines are ran, and it'll stay away from the headers either way. We have plenty of room, so looks like we are pretty golden. Alrighty guys, so it's the next day, and I did go to the paint shop. I picked up the 2 cans that I needed to pick up. I had them mix it, so we got 2 of them here. We're only gonna be utilizing 1 of them because that's all we need for that corner or that side. We're gonna go ahead and try to blend it in as much as possible, try to make it even with the rest of the bay, because again, the bay is not 100% like mint. There's some half-assed work done to it, so we're just trying to blend it in. We're not gonna make that part a lot better than this part, because again, the goal is later on, my brother is probably gonna end up shaving the bay in later time, because right now, since we're trying to meet the goal, he wants to be able to enjoy the car before he does anything like that. He just wants to have fun with the car. Yesterday I was also making the brake lines, and unfortunately I ended up eating shit. I'm not happy with them. I am personally not happy with them. He is cool with it. We're going to leave it the way it is for now, for the time being, and then we're going to go ahead and continue making progress. Since we got the paint now and everything is already primered, and I've already Scotch-Brighted it with the gray Scotch-Brite. See if we can find it real quick. I already went over it with this gray Scotch-Brite, made sure that it was smooth, had really no texture to it, and now we can start laying down base coat on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start layering on little base coat here and there, misting it on, let it get tacky a little bit, go to do the next coat, and then hopefully get it to where it kind of mirrors this side. So that is the goal we can finish off the video. I ended up moving my cars back because I didn't want no overspray getting to it. So let's go ahead guys and get to spraying the engine bay and just making it all uniform to the rest of it. So let's get to it.
What we do here is go back.
Alrighty guys, so second heavy layer of paint has been on it. I'm just gonna light another last minute one and then pretty much call it a day. So we're gonna go ahead and let it sit for a little bit so that way it can kind of harden up a little bit before we add the clear coat. It's gonna be from a spray can, so that's what we're gonna use. We're making the best out of what we have, not to go over budget. Small areas need some little attention. Nothing some spray and mist can't cover. But yeah, I'm extremely happy for this to be done so we can start putting in the engines. Alrighty guys, so it's been a while. We're letting it harden a little bit, just get tacky to a point. It's been about like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna give it probably about another 10 minutes just so that we can have a little bit more adhesion to it, and then we're gonna go ahead and start mixing up or shaking up the 2K clear. This does have a hardener in it. This was from a local paint shop here, One Stop Paint Shop here in Caldera Avenue in Riverside. So we're gonna use this. This has a hardener in it, so once that pretty much hardens and actually gets to the point, we're gonna go ahead and put this one on it. So again, we'll pick up on it once it's time to lay down the clear, and I'll show you guys all that after it's done. All right guys, so it's been about 20 minutes give or take. So this is the 2K clear. You put this cap on the bottom and you push that in, and that activates the hardener in it. So what I'm gonna do is, the way I'm gonna do things is I'm just gonna go ahead and mist a coat of clear over it, and honestly let it time to tack up, repeat the same process as I did with painting. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Alrighty guys, so quick update before we end the video. Just want to show you guys the engine bay. Engine bay has been fully painted as far as the passenger side frame rail and the skirt up there, and we also threw on the clear coat. So now it's just pretty much gonna sit here and bake over a couple of days, or harden up for a couple of days. And honestly, it looks pretty well. At least it matches with the other side, because again, there is blemishes on this side and even on the firewall and even around the car. So I kind of left some blemishes there. I didn't do the body work exactly 100% like how I did to my EK. My brother was under the same understanding, so we just went ahead with it and trying to make it blend in as much as possible. You still will be able to tell that this side's been repainted, just because of the fact that this paint on the rest of the engine bay and on the car is about 8 to 10 years old, give or take. It might be a little bit less, it might be a little bit more. Honestly, I don't really remember off the top of my head, but at least now we can move on with further progress of getting my brother's K24 set up into the wagon and pretty much start buttoning it all up inside of the car. But hopefully here in the next couple of days, after the engine bay kind of cures on that side, my brother's gonna be coming down this weekend, so that we can get the engine inside, and then we can start coming up with the game plan of what we're gonna do next. We are gonna have to fabricate a lower portion of the radiator support, since this one was cut out. We're also gonna be looking for another bumper, so that we can color match it, and that way he can have a grill, because this grill is cut out on the Bisimoto old bumper setup. So hopefully we can start finding little parts here and there. Parts are slowly arriving for the car, so that we can continue making progress. He does have majority of the stuff. I believe he just came up, or he just got the new water pump setup, housing that he needed, and he also got a manifold setup, so that we can pretty much strip that. We're gonna have to strip it, paint it, and honestly make it look good to match the rest of the engine. But honestly guys, progress is better than no progress. We're still moving forward. We're trying to get as much possible as done, or at least I am on my part, so I thought we can help make this possible for my little brother. But again, hopefully you guys are stoked for more content, man. If you guys are, please like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the build. And pretty much, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Till next time.